What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I'm here today with the review for Power. This is season 7. This is episode number. Nope, this is season 6, episode 7, titled "Like Father, Like Son." You guys, I don't know how I feel about this episode, but I do know two people that I do know how I feel about two people in this episode, particularly one. And I'm gonna talk about that person a little later when I get into it. So without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and just jump right into the video. So the episode, it opens up and we see Ghost. Ghost has a gun to Tariq's head, and I'm like, ooh, wow, strange change of events. And Ghost questions Tariq about why he left that back door open for Tommy. And Tariq comes up with some more lies, and he also tells him that he owed Tommy for selling his drugs. And Ghost says, yeah, Tommy knew you were selling his damn drugs. So then we see them, they go over to the penthouse and they go into Raina's room where Tariq was hiding his stash and his money. And Ghost, what did Ghost do? Ghost jacks his little nigga of his money. I'm like, ooh. So the dad is taking the money from the son. Which I would too, because I mean, he set up that ransom. So Ghost also says, okay, so you gotta make me a promise that you will not talk to Tommy. And if you do, then you have a problem with both me and Tommy, because I'm gonna tell Tommy that you stole his drugs. And I'm like, ooh, threatening him. Good one. You should whoop his little ass, but whatever. So then we see Tasha. Tasha's upset with Ghost because he pulled the gun on Tariq, but the gun was empty because Ghost did throw that gun back on the bed to Tariq, and it didn't have any bullets in it. And Ghost feels like he got through to Tariq. I'm like, you really think you got through to that little knucklehead? Okay, he says he admitted to everything. And you want to know where your son was hiding that stash at? In Raina's room. She's like, really? Yes, Tasha. But I'm so still baffled by the fact that Ghost thought he got through to Tariq. But that turned out Tariq was gone. And we're going to get into where Tariq went into just a little bit. But since I'm talking about Tariq, we saw Tariq later in the episode, and he met up with big nose ass Dre, and saying that Dre owes him for saving his life, which he did save his life with, Tommy and Ghost a few, 2 or 3 seasons ago. And, he says he needs some weight. And if he, and Dre's like, well, if I had anything, he wouldn't give it to him. And I'm like, well, Dre is trying to be smart. Not really. So Dre also says he should keep things, because he's like, you don't have anything. And Dre's like, well, maybe you should keep things that way. Maybe, possibly keep things that way. And, he says he had a prospect, and if it pans out, he got Tariq. And Tariq's like, man, I don't trust nothing you say. Like, I don't trust your word. And he's like, I'm pretty sure my Uncle Tommy would love to hear that you're around. And Andre's like, ooh, the Tommy card. I got you. So then Dre goes in and he hands him some drugs. He's like, smooth this and bring me the money back and we'll talk. I'm like, Dre, you are so stupid. Absolutely stupid. So then we see a scene where Ghost, Tariq, and Tasha, they're at this school doing an interview for the school, and Governor Tate put in a good word from which we'll talk about that in a little bit too. And, they're asking him questions about the school. They actually asked him why did he leave Choke, and I forgot what he said. But ultimately, the school accepts him. And, oh, and then they go back to the Tasha's place. I'm looking at my notes. I'm trying to get myself together. So they go back to Tasha's place, and he's talking about the school like it's not Choke. So they're like, oh, so since it's not Choke, you should do fantastically well. And then Tasha's like, well, don't you have something to say to your dad? And we'll talk about that too. He says that he said he went to go talk to Tommy, but Keisha was there, and Keisha knows that it was him who stole the drugs, and he asked Ghost, will he go and talk to Keisha? So then we do see Ghost. He walks up onto Keisha, and he gives Keisha, he's offering Keisha money to leave Tommy. Don't tell Tommy anything about Tariq, and he gives her a check, and he puts it in her jacket. I'm pretty sure he wrote something on. I don't know if he wrote something on it or if it was a blank check, but she opened up the check, and she told him, what, she's not for sale. But she said that to him before he left. I'm like, girl, you for sale. You are for sale. Absolutely for sale. All right, you guys. So we have Tommy. So Tommy, he's looking, shook up, looking like a pale white ghost, and he's talking to Keisha, And, Keisha's like, they have no product. They got ghosts on their ass. Like, what's next? And, he's talking about how, she's like, why would you do all this stuff? He said, because Tariq helped him especially with the Proctor thing. And because without Tariq, he wouldn't have been able to get to Proctor. And then Tommy gives Keisha a gun. I'm like, you giving this fool a gun? Okay. So, she's like, once all this is done, you need to turn your back on Tasha, Ghost, and Tariq. He's like, I can't turn my back on Tariq because Tariq is family. She's like, and what the fuck am I in Cash? And I'm like, you and Cash? Well, you just a piece of ass, and Cash is just collateral damage, basically. Like, girl, you ain't shit. So then we see the crack squad. They at the at the spot, and they looking at the drugs, and they wondering about their jobs, like, cause they ain't got no product, and cause Two Bit, he's like, when it comes to when it comes to Jason likes his money up front, which they know that, and then Two Bit turns around and realizes that someone broke in and stole some drugs from them. So then Keisha comes in, and they're like, somebody stole some drugs. She's like, I can see that. And then, she thinks that Two Bit did this as a cover up. And Two Bit's like, what? So you think I stole the drugs? And then he grabs her and she looks at him. She's like, what? For that, I'm definitely telling Tommy. And he going to ghost your ass. I'm like, girl, shut up and sit down. Like, her acting in this episode was repulsive. Like, I know people are talking about how her acting is horrible, but God, I didn't really realize it until this episode how horrible her acting is. Somebody need to get Lala Anthony some acting lessons, because God, they're horrible. Like, I could do a better job at that. So then, she leaves, and BG and Spanky like telling him, like, man, why did you grab the chick? Like, you fucked up. He did fuck up. Like, y'all know Tommy's a hothead. So then we see Keisha. She goes home and she's looking for Tommy, but Tommy's not there. And then she texts him, and then, she hear a knock at the door, and she goes and the person grabs the gun, and she goes to the door, and it's Tariq there. And, she's like, so did Ghost send you? He's like, no, Ghost didn't send me here. And, he tells her that Ghost put a gun up. She's like, good. Somebody should have whooped your ass a long time ago. And then, she tells him to leave. And he asks her if Tommy's in Brooklyn. And, she asks him, like, about the stash and where he get it from. He says, I got that from Kanan. And as he leaves, we see that he goes downstairs. And when he goes downstairs, Tasha was there. So that's what Tasha was talking about earlier when she said, do you have something that you want to tell your dad? And he told him that he went to see Tommy. So then we see Jason. He's introducing Tommy to his LA distro, whose name is Rodolfo Ramirez. And, he says, Jason tells Tommy that he wants to send him out there for a while. And then, Tommy's taking credit for all of the work that happened in last week's episode, which we know it was the help of Ghost. It was the help of Dre, Two Bits, Spanky, everybody. Tommy didn't do that by himself. So then, we see Tommy. He goes home, and then Keisha tells him what happened at the warehouse. And, then she tells him that Tariq came by. He asks her if he was in Brooklyn. And, Tommy's like, but Tariq would never steal from me. And she's like, Tommy, Tariq is not the same little boy that we knew when growing up. And he says, you know what, not Tasha, but Keisha, I'm going to go talk to him, and I'm going to ask him. She's like, even if you ask him, he's going to lie, which that is true. So then we do see Tommy. He goes, ask Tariq, did he steal from him? And Tariq openly admits it to him that he stole from him. I'm like, wow, you just openly admit to him that you stole from him. So then Tommy grabs him up and dangles him over the edge of the building. And Tariq is just begging him, like, Uncle Tommy, don't drop me. Uncle Tommy, don't drop me. Please, Uncle Tommy. And you know what? Tommy says, you know what? We're done. We're not family. We're nothing. Like, you're just like your dad. Like, it took you this long to realize Tariq is exactly like Ghost. Selfish to the bone. So then we see Tommy with the crack squad, and he's talking to him about the Keisha stuff. And Spanky and BG try to take up for him, and he's like, nah, y'all two can leave me with Two Bit. And, Spanky is still trying to take up for Two Bit. I'm like, didn't he just tell you to leave, and ain't this fool holding a gun? Like, y'all know this motherfucker's a hothead, and you gonna sit here? No. When Tommy told me to leave, I was like, you know what, Two Bit, you my boy, but I gotta go, because this motherfucker right here is crazy. So, Be like on Players Club when Diamond went down there to fight Ronnie, and Trix was sitting there. How you doing, girl? That would have been me. How you doing? Call me tomorrow, girl. How you doing? And I would have walked my ass out like Trix. But although Trix did get her ass beat up, well, Trix got her ass punched. So yeah. But I would have did that. So then, like I said, Two Bit didn't leave, and he fires both Two Bit and Spank. And Spank like, wait, you firing me too, boss? Get the fuck out. Yes, I'm firing you. So then we see Two Bit and Spanky, they leaving there pissed off at Tommy about, this whole thing. And Tommy, Two Bit was like, no, Spanky was like, Tommy could forgive us if we shoot Ghost. I'm like, if y'all shoot Ghost. And, we see Two Bit, he still got Ghost's watch on, and I'm like, okay, if you shoot Ghost, y'all two know y'all would die before you actually kill him, right? And then, they look online and they see this photo of Tate, Dre, and Ghost. And I'm like, you know what? If we get that big nose nigga, we can really do something. And I'm like, yeah, y'all could get that big nose motherfucker. And then they also want to scare Keisha. I'm like, okay. So then we see this dude that Two Bit and Spanky sent after Keisha. So he goes into the her salon. He puts an umbrella in the door. He walks up on her with a knife to her neck. And, he says that Ghost sent him. I'm like, really? So y'all gonna say Ghost sent? Okay. If you say so. So the dude, like I said, he pulled the gun on her. And he, she tried to run. And he slit her. And then she goes to the purse and boom, boom, boom. She shoots him. I'm like, whoa. Now, I didn't see that coming from Keisha. Really, truly didn't. Then we see Two Bit and Spanky. They kidnap Dre Big Nose behind. And, he tells them that he's playing both sides, but that he has a ankle bracelet on him. And, we see that Tommy takes his phone. And Tommy see that he get a text from Ghost. And then, Keisha calls Tommy talking about the dead body. And, Tommy goes there to see her. And she tells him that it was Ghost that sent him after her after she turned down him, paying her off. He's like, Ghost tried to pay you off. She's like, yeah, but that's not even the point. So they gonna get the body out of there. So then we do see the crack squad again. And, they're trying to figure out what to do with Dre because they have Dre tied up. And they didn't have him tied up that well because he was able to free himself. But they told, BG to stay there and keep an eye on him. Dre played BG. And he told BG to, he was talking to BG, trying to tell him to let him talk to his daughter. So BG gets his phone and about to let him call, and Dre grabs his gun and boom, blows his head off. I'm like, really? BG didn't do nothing to you. BG was trying to help your dumb ass. I can't stand Dre. I swear to God, I cannot stand Dre. Big nose bastard. Big nose bastard. All right, so I think I might have missed this talking about it, but we saw the scene where Ghost, he met with Jason to tell him about Andre, and he says he'll bring Andre to him tonight. And he says, okay, if I like the guy, then you can pull the trigger on Tommy anytime. I'm like, oh wow, Jason, cold-blooded, huh? So then we see Ghost, he's meeting with Jason again, and he's talking about Dre, and then Tommy shows up, and Tommy is upset because of this whole Keisha situation. And Ghost like, I didn't even do nothing to Keisha. He was like, I did try to pay her off, but that shouldn't surprise you. He did the same thing with Holly. And, then, Jason's like, I did this to protect you. Like, I didn't want him to, he did this to protect Tommy. I'm like, oh, okay. Is that, want to keep him alive? And he tells him, you know what? You guys both will work for me. Like, you guys are going to work for me and work together with each other. And if not, the payment is going to be doubled. And if one of you comes up dead, the other one will be soon behind the other one. I'm like, well, damn. Okay. Cool. So, we do see Ghost and Tommy, they talk to each other. And they're going to plot to kill Jason. I'm like, I saw that coming. I'm like, these two are eventually going to work with each other to take Jason out. And then we lastly saw Tommy. He took Keisha to their new house. And I don't care about that. Her acting is just really bad. Like, I could do a better job of acting than her. All right, so now we got Ramona. So Ramona is, at the office and she's looking for Tate. And then Derek, he says that, she's at a prayer breakfast. And then she's like, well, what about Cassandra? And he says, she's not here either. Because Ramona's more concerned about this. She wants to go over his Rochester schedule. And then we see Cassandra. Cassandra is on top of Tate riding that horse. I'm like, girl. And then Derek comes in. He sees both of them in action. And I'm like, ooh. And Derek's like, you know what? Fuck both of y'all. And I'm like, about time, Derek. Like, you didn't really, like, come on, the first time. Like, you couldn't catch the hints that she was having sex with him, but maybe he couldn't. So then we see, Tate, and he's at that big photo op with, Dre and his big nose and his daughter, getting his daughter. Then Ramona pulls Tate into the office and she's asking him, like, how could you be so fucking reckless with Cassandra? And then, we see Ghost talking to Dre. He tells him, he says, he asks him, is he done with sex? He says, yeah, I'm done with sex. And, Ghost just tells him, like, watch your back because, Tommy, if he knows you're around, he going to try to kill you. So then, Rashad says that he'll tell his story about the whole situation with him and Cassandra if Derek just try to say, something happened. And Ramona asks, like, why would you pick a married woman and a married woman that works in your campaign? Like, how dumb could you be? And then, Ghost comes in, he's like, so was he ass worth it? He's like, she told you to? He's like, yeah. So you know what? He tells him, what, we both have a problem because I had Derek do deep checks on everybody that, contributes to the campaign. And so he's like, we need to work together to get him quiet. So then we see Ramona with Cassandra, and, Ramona wants Cassandra to go public, but Cassandra doesn't want to go public because she doesn't want to be with Tate because, she was asking about a care side. She's like, I don't want a proposal from him. I don't want him. I don't want to go public. Like, the sex is good, but that's it. She's like, I trust, like, 65% of what he says. So, and then she's talking about she wants to run for a congressional seat, and Ramona's like, are you serious? And, she's like, basically, you ain't got no choice. You either sign this NDA or you're going to marry him. Like, one of the two. So then we see Ramona. She goes back to Tate, and she tells Tate, so, Cassandra did sign this NDA, but it did, however, cost us a congressional seat. And, he's like, what I thought about what you said about me being a married man. He was like, how about you? She's like, no. She's like, I wouldn't even have sex with you. She's like, I'm going to go. He's like, yeah, you probably would. And she says, no, because I have feelings for someone else. I'm like, we knew that. We know you got feelings for James. You ain't got to tell us that. I kind of jumped ahead of myself. So then Ramona tells, we see Ramona, she's telling James about how Tate propositioned her. And then Tommy busts into the club telling her, leave, lady. And, goes like, it's okay. So this is where they both plot to kill Jason. Cool. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with Jason dying. I mean, those two are probably going to die eventually, too. But I'm cool with Jason dying. And we're going to move on, you guys. Oh, and then I forgot to mention that Ghost assigned Derek as the project manager for the Queen's Child Project with an increase in salary and a no-contest divorce from, Cassandra. Plus, Tate's going to cover all the legal fees. I'm like, yes. Stick it to that slimy bastard. So, yeah, now we're officially going to move on, you guys. All right, so next we got Blanca's annoying ass. So, Blanca and Sax are talking to Warner about questioning Tariq. Now, Blanca doesn't, however, believe him, which we always know she don't believe nothing anybody says. And she also says that he didn't really mention the fact that Proctor and Elisa Marie were guests at the penthouse. And then, Warner tells Sax to leave. So what Warner wants is for, Blanca to, get something on Sax because everyone around them involved with this case has died. Proctor's dead. Lindsay's dead. Angela's dead. What's his name? God, what was a black dude's name? Donovan is dead. Like, so many people are dead, but here he is, still alive. Like, so many people are dead. And she was like, she was talking about, you had me on this this project. He was like, that wasn't a request. So then we see Blanca. She's meeting with Elisa Marie. And she's asking her like, so how did you about Tariq? And she's like, oh, how'd she get to her Uncle Vinny's? And she's like, Tariq took me because we went out these the back door, and we went to go get some hot chocolate. And then she also has her backpack, and she's like, where's my unicorn that mommy gave me? And Blanca's like, unicorn, okay. So then we see Blanca. She's in Sax's office, and she finds the unicorn. I'm like, you dumbass! You literally left this unicorn in your office. It was illegal, and you left it in your office. Like, when you take that home with you? But no, he didn't. So then Blanca tells him that she went to meet with Elisa Marie, but Elisa Marie doesn't really know anything. And he was like, damn. So then we see Sax. He met with Andre. He wanted Andre to wear an ankle monitor. And Andre was like, no, I'm done with you. And he was like, oh, so, well, if you go home, there's probably going to be cops around your apartment ready to arrest you for the murder of Maria Suarez. And he's like, I didn't kill her. And, then he says, you have, he's like, you my bitch until you give me something on Ghost. And he puts that ankle monitor around his leg. And I'm like, are you serious? He is a piece of shit. So then we see Blanca and Warner. They have the recording of Proctor with Lindsay, and Warner's going deep off on Sax's ass, and basically tells Sax that you are on administrative leave until I can, we can get this thing ball rolling to get you fired and get you disbarred. And I'm like, ooh, yes, get him disbarred and get him killed is what we need. Actually, we just need him. I don't care about him getting fired and disbarred. Get him killed. Yes. And then the last thing in the episode, so we saw Tasha with Tariq. She asked Tariq, like, so what are you going to do now? Like, your Uncle Tommy don't want to talk to you no more. Your dad and I, we don't believe anything you say. And you ain't got no friends, no money, and your sister's, and she mentioned Raina being dead. I'm like, damn. So, she asked him, so with that kidnapping, were you supposed to get a cut out of it? She's like, be honest with me, Tariq. He says, I was. And she says, you know what, Tariq? She says, because you're better than what your dad is. She's like, you know what? How about I teach you the game? I'm like, I knew eventually that was gonna happen, that those two were gonna work together. But damn, I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I'm happy. I'm here for Tasha, coming up on Ghost, but I just don't know how I feel about that 100%. But you guys, like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later.